This is the book of Job. It's the book of Job. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? It's the book of Matthew. Chapter 24. Salakia. 24 and verse 13. Salakia, not verse 13, verse 12. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. When you go into that word iniquity, is lawlessness, meaning, because iniquity is sin upon sin. So, with that being said, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Chakodas Rakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great men who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwab and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is a edifying lesson. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations who subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. This is the brother Yahweh from the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And basically, I came across an article, and literally, I thought that would work out a certain kind of way. So I'm gonna have to just bring up my image, because from time to time you're supposed to do lives, and I'm doing this on a phone, so you know what I mean. I ain't got the best for phones, but I thought, because basically I'm trying to read the article off the phone and show my face, and that's not gonna work. So after I bring out the article, I'll go back to a selfie and bring out the scriptures. But this is an article showing you the time we in and showing you how these people really don't give a good 2 cents about you. You know what I mean? With all this turmoil, with all this financial pressure, which the government has to. I mean, it's so bad the government got to actually stimulate the economy and actually take care of people. Yet still, they're still, Lord and behold, they. What is ultimately the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah? And I'm gonna just bring out the article, the title of it, because it says federal judge overturns national eviction ban. So that ban, and they said that this was gonna happen. It was a ban with Trump in office, and then when Biden come into office, it just so happens to be overturned. So, I don't know. I mean, it's ultimately, like I said, again, the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But, that man going to probably drop dead from stress, because it's taking time to think about it. He got a lot going on. You know what I mean? Because now, like I said, you're going to have to give out a stimulus. You're going to have to do something. So this is from CNBC. It says federal judge overturns national eviction ban. It's by Annie Nova, published Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. It says key points. A federal judge struck down on Wednesday the national eviction moratorium, potentially leaving millions of Americans at risk of losing their homes. Housing advocates have said that the national ban is necessary to stave off unprecedented displacement of Americans, which could worsen the corona or the CV pandemic just as the country is turning a corner. Which, how is it turning a corner when, you're talking about the cases going up? Property owners have criticized the policy and say landlords can't afford to continue housing people for free. Federal Judge Dabney Frederick struck down on Wednesday the national eviction moratorium, potentially leaving millions of Americans at risk of losing their homes 2 months earlier than expected. The Center for Disease, because I think the ban was supposed to be up at a certain time, but they basically just overturned the whole thing. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has banned most evictions across the country since September. The protection was slated to expire at the end of January, but President Joe Biden has extended it first until April and later through June. So now they ended it a month early. Some 1 in 5 renters across the U.S. are struggling to keep up with their payments amid the CV pandemic, and states are scrambling to disperse more than $45 billion in rental assistance allocated by Congress. A spokesman for the Department of Justice said it planned to appeal the ruling. It also seeks a stay of the decision, meaning the ban will remain in effect throughout the court battle. So at the end of the day, they saying as of now, it's literally not out there where it's been overturned. They're trying to fight it, but just letting you know how this place is so divided. You got people that's literally trying to keep it going. You got people that's like, fuck it, because what I mean. At the end of the day, you got people that haven't been paid. You know what I mean? Now don't get me wrong. The government did pass legislation where if you knew what you were doing, you can go get them to pay. Like if you were behind on your rent, you can go get them because it's funds allocated for it. Like it said, $45 billion. But for the most part, you got landlords that aren't too familiar with it, and you got the tenants that are not too familiar with it. So a lot of that money's just sitting, and at the end of the day, it's just a precursor or a taste of what's to come. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this place is doomed. No matter how much money you print, no matter how much you whatever you call yourself doing, because at the end of the day, it's already prophesied and foretold and preordained. You know what I mean? That's why, like I said, literally, with all this stimulus and whatnot. Now what's happening? You know what I mean? You have supply chain shortages and food going up and all this different stuff. So regardless of whatever your tactic is to try to combat this, you is not going to be able to, or not you, with these people that's behind the scenes are not going to be able to fix this. You know what I mean? Because the Lord is actually, it tells you in the scriptures that the deceived and the deceiver are his. So, the Esau Edom is being deceived by the Lord as well. That's pretty much the article. Uh, Says speaking at her daily briefing, White House spokesman Penn Psaki said the Biden administration recognized the importance of the eviction moratorium for Americans who fell behind on rent during the pandemic. A recent study estimates that there were 1.55 million federal evictions filed. 1.55 million fewer evictions filed during 2020 than would be expected due to the eviction moratorium. So it clearly has had a huge benefit. And that's letting you know that they're going to have to continue because they already know what they're doing. But the thing is, while they're continually printing money, they're literally devaluing the money in your face. So it's going to have to switch over to a whole nother currency. They was talking about that dog coin or doggy coin or whatever. And how you can get the coin for like $1 or something like that. But now that's starting to pick up pace. So you know what I mean? Like eventually, pretty soon, I can't tell you exactly when, but you can see it coming if you got the spiritual eyes to see. Literally, eventually that's gonna come. And like I said, for whatever reason, I feel through the spirit it's gonna crash. Sometime this year. You know what I mean? It's too many signs, and then gold up the way it's up. Just a lot of little things. These cryptocurrencies are keep on rising in value. You know what I mean? But point being, and basically this is all about money. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? It tells you about how in the book of Habakkuk, Esau's his he can't be satisfied. This is because like I said again, it's ultimately all about money. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the jointings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. And at the end of the day, for the love of money, it tells you in the scriptures, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that. For the love of money, like I was listening to last week's lesson from Apostle Tahar, and he was saying how, money can start wars. You know what I mean? Money can get you killed. A person thinking you got money will get you touched. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith. And that's the point. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You know what I mean? Money is a defense. Scriptures tell you that, but it's used to be used for what you need it for at the time. You know what I mean? What to put your faith and your trust in money, which a lot of people do, is a lot of these celebrities. That's why they think they can do what they want. Look at Bill, and it should show you. Look at Bill Cosby, all that motherfucking money and can't enjoy it. Look at Pablo Escobar. Look at these people that had money, and, you know what I mean, and it still didn't save them. It's a defense. Yeah, it can help you in situations. You know what I mean? But like I said, it tells you in the scriptures that they gonna cast they silver and gold in the streets. Roughly paraphrase. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73. 73, verse probably won't be able to keep on doing that because I'm using like the screen recorder. But this is Psalm 73, verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. And that's 73 and 12 are always at ease. When you go into that word prosper, it means always at ease. And when I started off, I read Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So these wicked, it tells you in the scriptures who the wicked is. It's a group of, it's a nation of people. And you know what I mean? And those are the ones that run the world, that have all the money, the riches, the wealth, the land. You know what I mean? Look at Bill Gates. Through a pandemic, when people are struggling, this piece of I'm trying not to use any profane words. You know what I mean? He literally profited from that, and that's what the scriptures say. It say, he bought all that farmland for dirt cheap. It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Then when you go into the book of Isaiah, it talks about, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. Because this is an unrighteous decree to actually, when people are already suffering and struggling, for you to actually, they didn't even, to show you how people think, you know what I mean? These people in certain positions, you know what I mean? These federal judges, these people that work for Esau's system, these people that's joined onto the system, these governors and judges and politicians don't give a 2 cents about you. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 2, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, meaning mandates, meaning passing laws, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Because they came up with this. It tells you in the book of Micah how they sit across the, let me find it. Because it talks about how they sit on their bed and the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That's the point. And who is that talking about? The wicked. You know what I mean? I'm not going to keep on hitting this. My face was seen, so I'm going to leave it at that. But it says back in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And at the end of the day, the needy of my people, the needy is, Yasharallah, Israel, you know what I mean? The so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. Those are the needy, those are the downtrodden, those are the ones, the poor, you know what I mean? It tells you in the scriptures that, basically Esau is not in trouble as other men. And I can attest to that. You know what I mean? I've actually had to experience being homeless. And the Lord had to actually bring me very low. And just going to these soup kitchens and being outside and, living in the element, you would see these Edomites and they whole mindset was totally different from Jake. They'd go to these soup kitchens and just automatically think they were privileged. And, you know what I mean? And I'm not making this up at all. And it tells you that, let me find this in the book of, what's that, Salakia. And that's the Esau's mindset, period, you know what I mean? But it tells you, that's why it tells you they're greedy, they're covetous, And it also tells you, you know, Shalakia. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. As the people, Salakia, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. And that's the point, you know what I mean? Like, we aren't the people or these people. You know, it tells you in scripture that Israel always wanted another nation to rule over them. You know what I mean? We should never really supposed to have a king over us. You know, the Most High, Yahweh was supposed to be our king. Yahweh Shai. But then, you know what I mean? The people wanted to be like the other nations, so they wanted a king. So the Lord found a king after his own heart. And that's why we had the ultimate king, King David. You know what I mean? A man after the Most High's heart. You know, show you how foolish we was. We want something, not realizing what we want, and the Most High had to help us with that. It's like when a parent help a child go get their first car. You know, they want what they see and appear, but don't recognize what nothing dependable or whatnot. You know what I mean? They looking at the outside appearance as opposed to the inside. They ain't look under the engine, up under the frame, none of that. They just, oh, it look good. You know what I mean? You know, that's why it tells you that the Most High judges the heart of men. And that's why it's saying in scripture, a man after the Most High's heart. Salakia for a minute. Bear with me for a second. Salakia. So, again, so as the judge of the people is himself or his officers, and that's why you got this whole dog eat dog, selfish, self-centered, covetous spirit out here. You know what I mean? You know, that's just like if a parent don't know shit and then they relay, what are they really gonna teach that child? So 9 times out of 10, they're gonna pick up the traits of what that parent has shown them. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then, you know, to go to some of the attributes of Esau. Based on this is the book of Habakkuk goes into some of Esau's attributes. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Because at the at the end of the day, you supposed to know the individuals and the nations and these people because it's all spiritual. You know what I mean? Like Jake is a specific kind of way, just like Esau is a specific kind of way. Now don't get me wrong, it could be it tells you that basically the angel's gonna separate the wheat from the tares, let them grow together. So, you know what I mean? You're going to have people that you thought was Israel and wasn't. You know what I mean? People that look like Jake and act like Jake, but wasn't. You know what I mean? But, you know, it tells you Jake is the salt of the earth. We have a flavor. We're a peculiar people. That's what the scriptures say. And Esau is a certain type of people. And the scriptures tell you that. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. He's not a righteous man. But the just shall live by his faith. And, you know, the righteous is going to live by their faith, no matter what obstacles the Most High put in front of him. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it was a scripture I just read in the book of Luke. It said, pray without ceasing, roughly paraphrase. I would have to find it. I was just reading it, though. Without ceasing, you know what I mean? Meaning not giving up. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I mean, it tells us we're prisoners of hope. You know what I mean? Because with what's coming, you know what I mean? And then that's why, again, like I said, I wholeheartedly believe the Lord takes us through different trials and tribulations to build up your faith. You don't know what your lot is. You know, I've been through many trials and tribulations, and I know where my help coming from. It's coming from on high. You know what I mean? I could actually attest to brothers' situations, what I know they went through. You know what I mean? And, a lot of brothers don't say nothing about it. Some brothers vent. You know what I mean? Everybody deals with it the way that they deal with it. You know what I mean? Sometimes brothers can be, the thing is this, brotherly be. You got to know when to be a brother and when to let a brother be by himself. Because we all need solitude sometimes. It show you that in the scriptures. Even Yahweh Shai needed solitude. He often went off to himself to pray. Because just imagine I always, when I equated it, it was amazing to me because I watched that movie Hercules with The Rock, and there was a guy in there, he's supposed to have been like a prophet, and he always kept on saying he knew the day of his death. And then at the end, Hercules, right when he thought he was about to die, because he kept on saying he had a vision of when he was going to die. So when he seen the vision actually playing out in real time, he was about to accept his fate. But it showed you how blasphemous it was. Hercules literally supposed to stop, like it was an arrow about to hit him. Hercules supposed to stop it. That's all made up and fake. The only living person that actually walked this earth that knew the time and the day that they would die was Yahushua. You know what I mean? He often spoke on it. And that's a hell of a, I ain't gonna say burden, but it is though. It was such a, you know what I mean? That's a hell of a cross to carry. I'd rather rephrase it. That was a hell of a cross to carry. You know what I mean? You know, because you know what I mean. People automatically. So a lot of people don't perform well under pressure. You know what I mean? That shows you how actually talented you are. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole totally different spirit and vibration when you got something on the line. Like when the basketball players or football players are actually, playing, and a lot of it be faked and like kind of phony and fake. Like a lot of them last Super Bowls and whatnot. You know what I mean? Why would you constantly keep throwing Hail Marys when you can have your running back run the ball off? It makes you wonder just to make it exciting. You ain't trying to give a fuck about excitement. You trying to give a fuck about winning. Because you got millions of fans, you know what I mean? Like, so come on, like the fuck out of here. You're not going to take the chance of going through the playoffs and then wanting to make the game exciting and take a chance throwing Hail Marys on. I forgot what I think it was like New England or something because everybody's so mad about it. And I'm like, don't you get now that literally most of these team owners is basically millionaires and billionaires? Well, not billionaires, billionaires for real. And they literally basically supporting the whole city. Do you realize how much money a Super Bowl brings to an economy? People don't even take the time to fathom this shit. Like, for instance, the NFL draft will be here this year. You know what I mean? I think next year they're supposed to have the All-Star game here. All these different things bring revenue to the city. Just like when LeBron James was here. You know what I mean? A 2/3 nigga told me this. He like, you don't realize that one hot dog vendor make money when LeBron fucking playing. But not to digress, Salakia. It says, verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed wine, meaning his philosophy, he's a proud man. And who's the proudest man on this planet? Esau Edom. Going to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. Verse 3, Salakia. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground. Now that's telling you a group of people, because when you go to the book of Job, chapter 30, Job was talking about a group of people that dwelt in the clefts of the rock. When you go into the scriptures, I forgot the name of the king that was, I want to say it was Manasseh, wasn't it? I can't remember who, but he was pushing them off the clefts of the rock. He was pushing them off the rocks to their death. He pushed like 10,000 Edomites off a cliff. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. And who is the proudest creature on this planet? Like I said, trust me, Esau Edom. You know what I mean? That's why why do you think right now, as fucked up as America is, these motherfuckers still proud? We got to make America great again. And, all this other shit. You know what I mean? Who's the people that's trying to build all these space stations? And, who Elon Musk. Look at that Starlink shit. And then you got Jeff Bezos with that Blue Moon project. And come on. But this place is destroyed. This place is over with. And I'm about to get that in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 47. Verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. And why? That's not talking about ancient Babylon. Because ancient Babylon is still around today. It's no longer called Babylon. But ancient Babylon is Iraq. And the reason why it's called O virgin daughter of Babylon, so that's talking about another place. And that's a.k.a. America. Because this is Babylon. It's a land of confusion. That's why all these rights and laws for homosexuality and same-sex marriage actually came from out of Babylon. And they got pushed over the whole earth, which is that wine. It's called a virgin because this place has never actually been touched by a foreign invader. Yeah, they had civil wars here and whatnot. But as far as like an actual invasion, how America goes to other countries and basically occupies. We've never had that experience. That we're going to experience it when the UN troops hit this place. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And you seeing that now. This place that was so full of beauty to all these different nations that just lusted to come here is now being exposed. I mean, just with the George Floyd thing, that was a powerful situation. And the Most High used him. And yeah, he was a 2/3, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that was actually like a chess piece the Most High used. Because at the end of the day, it got exposure around the whole world. You had people in other countries protesting over George Floyd. And that's going to be a big part of what these race riots take part about. You know what I mean? Since that death, it seemed like it's been a death every other month. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the legs, uncover thy thigh, pass over the rivers. Verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. And this place is being seen for the dirty whore it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, you about to see the price of these foods go up. You know what I mean? The money's being devalued. They was talking about how Russia basically went to the euro, bought all this money in euros. China ain't really dealing with the money either. You know what I mean? It's way more stuff going on than you would even ever probably fathom. Verse Jeremiah chapter 51. Verse 7. And this is just basically going to the falling or the destruction of Babylon. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. And I will send to Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And I'm gonna skip down because I'm about to try and really end this. I got one more scripture, and then I'm gonna end the lesson. It says, I'm gonna skip to verse 7, Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, because the Lord basically put Babylon in this position, like it put all the other nations. It tells you that the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua ruleth in the kingdom of man and give it to whomsoever he please. Roughly paraphrased. You know what I mean? If you ruling, it's because the Most High put you in that position. And then when a nation gets to the point, or the what's the word, epitome of their wickedness, that's when the Most High strikes this place down. With what Esau got planned, they don't realize that, like I said again, that they are being deceived. They're trying to deceive the masses, but they're being deceived by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. It says that made all the earth drunken, again by their philosophies. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Because this place is going to have a terrible judgment. You ever remember that nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall? Yeah. Imagine that times like to the 100th power. And rightfully so, because you got to remember, again, this is one of the proudest places on the planet. I had the opportunity to actually visit places. You'll look at, like, say for instance, Florida on a TV, and they put it perpetuated like it's this place. I actually been to Florida. That shit ain't what all live is what you think it is. The only difference is, like, any ghetto like that I can remember is literally the palm fucking tree. You got niggas being niggas, all that. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, and Salakia. So again, basically the crashing of this dollar, the price of how these goods about to go up and skyrocket, that is a sign and a symbol of this place falling. I'm gonna end with James. This is the book of James. James chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your miseries shall come upon you. And you about to see that now. Like I said, you got, like I said, a lot of wealthy people made a lot of money during this pandemic. But like I said, at the end of the day, at the same time, the dollar is being devalued by the day. You know what I mean? So they price gouging and they doing all this other shit, but at the end of the day, it's still the money ain't worth nothing. The more they print it, the least of value it is. You know, I remember watching this interview with what's that Donald Trump's daughter name? Not Ivanka. It might be Ivanka. I don't know. And long story short, she was actually having an interview and they was talking about the price of the dollar, how the value of the dollar was so low. I mean, she literally talking about, and they laughing about it. See, you don't know how versatile they portfolios is, where they got their money invested. You don't know none of this. Verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments moth-eaten. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Because it tells you in the book of Ezekiel that they shall toss their gold and their silver in the streets. That's not going to save you in that day. And like I said, I mean, a big part of why they pushing this eviction, I mean, it's also more chaos, cause more basically that's a distraction to a certain extent. While they doing all kind of other stuff, you worried about this and that. It's kind of like when one of them celebrities get caught up with something. It make me think about that R. Kelly thing. I remember when I was little, we knew about R. Kelly messing with a young girl, Aaliyah, way back then. You know what I mean? So how's it after all these years y'all want to just come after this man? That's how you know the media actually is a weapon. But I'm not about to digress. At the end of the day, more pain and miseries is coming. I'm going to end it on this, though. Because at the end of the day, more pain and miseries is coming because this place is about to be judged. And also due to the fact that, a lot of Jakes follow after they daddy Esau. They, because they prideful. But it tells you in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. And, and they tell you, how did that scripture go? It talks about pride coming before the fall. Like I said, I watched the pandemic lightweight shake some people. And then after they open everything back up, you got people more proud than to show you that that's spiritual or something. I mean, it's beyond just spiritual or something. That's spiritual. You know what I mean? The Lord put them back in a deeper slumber. That's just like if you almost lose your job for going a certain route. And you know that this route going to take you longer to get there. You ain't going to go that route no more. So why would you go back to sleep after you just seen, like, wow, look how they just literally just turned you into a kid and didn't give a fuck what you had in your house. You know what I mean? And the second lockdown gonna be way worse. They gonna literally have the rights to actually ask you where you going, who are you, where you going, what you doing out here. And if you don't give them the right answers, you know what I mean? That could be your behind, Mr. Postman. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, or be destroyed. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Loyim, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, which appear like the other nations, who subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and Mawath Lababal. Shalom.